Welcome to WCW SuperBrawl 1 from the 19th of May 1991. Pete, how did you get on with this? It's got an under 3 hour runtime, but it does not feel that way.
It does not feel that way. Hey, did someone order a load of cowboys? I swear, just everyone has a leather waistcoat in this show.
Yeah.
Dusty's just bought a load of them. And that's before we get to the other stuff he does in this show.
Yeah.
My word.
This is an unusual show for me because I remember as a kid, I loved this show.
Right.
I thought this show is properly good. And it's got a great match in it.
It has got a great match in it.
And this is their attempt, really, in this show to suddenly go, we are making concerted effort to take on the WWE by doing what they do really cheaply and badly.
Yes.
And now our weary travelers are at the end of their journey as they face the Emerald City.
Welcome to us! Welcome to us!
The Bayfront Arena in St. Petersburg does have sort of history with NWA. There tended to be venues that they didn't really cross over. They'd either take WWF or WCW. And WCW had worked this arena for many, many years. They keep mentioning during this show Dusty Rhodes winning the NWA title from Harley Race in 1979 here. What you've got is a homecoming for Rhodes because he is now the booker. He is very much in charge. He has put himself in commentary and he is calling a lot of the shots. A lot of those shots, Daddy, are fucking awful. Absolutely terrible.
Quite mad.
There's a real attempt here to bring in everyone. There are so many wrestlers on this card. I think there's about 40. Not even like an exaggeration. I think there's 40 wrestlers on this card. For me, it was really fun to watch it back because I know this obviously from the UK videos when they came out. It was the only way to see WCW pay-per-views in this country until they started showing them on a German satellite channel, which you had to buy one of those really big satellite listings magazines.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
And they were really thick and really glossy.
To type in the right code, MHF.
I think it's before codes, but what they do is they'd list DSF.
Right.
Or yes, is DSF is the channel. Like, DFS is the
sofa.
That's the
company.
one.
Und jetzt kommt der Finishing Move. Dessen bin ich sicher. Und das wird der Piledriver. Jawohl. 1, 2. Ja, rau. In seinen ganzen Bewegungen, in seiner ganzen Erscheinung rau. Aber für Mike Marcello, ich würde gleich mal sagen 2, wenn nicht 3 Nummern zu groß.
Bevor das Fernsehen es weiß. Top Secret. Täglich News aus dem WCW-Hauptquartier in Atlanta. Jeden Tag neue Fäden, Gerüchte und Ergebnisse. 0, 1, 9, 0, 2, 7, 0, 2, 7, 2.
What WCW have done here is they are doing a follow-up show to one which is not on the network.
Right.
And that was the WCW New Japan Super Show. In that show, which was attended by 60,000 people, so 10 times the amount of people who were at this show, they had an angle whereby Ric Flair went to Japan to face the IWGP champion Tatsumi Fujinami. Now, Tatsumi Fujinami, he is a Japanese legend. He held the IWGP belt, I think, on 6 occasions. The IWGP belt is the most prestigious belt in Japan. And he was going up against Ric Flair for the NWA title. And what happened is they did a dusty finish, something the Japanese were not prepared for. So I'll explain this when we get to the main event.
Yeah.
I'll go through this because it is so stupid. It deserves to be in the last episode rather than putting people off now. But what this show was, they were launching their new direction, but they still had to tie up the absolute fuck up that they'd created in the last pay-per-view, which had left the Japanese absolutely furious. And they had to do it in a way that they didn't lose face for having essentially cheated the Japanese out of what they said they'd do. It's a real fuck-up. It's basically, there was a dusty finish in the show before, in the main event. And it's very difficult to say, no, we didn't have that planned, when you know the man who took over 2 months ago is literally Dusty.
The man who invented it.
It's a nightmare.
Mr. Matsuda, let me ask you a question. Can you give us some sort of statement as you go out now?
Yes, we are going to take this belt back to Japan. That belongs to us.
Well, that just about says it all there.
The Turner Home Network one cut an hour of matches when it went out. And this wasn't due to time. You know, videos lasted for 180 minutes. And this goes on, I think, for 2 hours 43.
Right.
But I don't know why there was the decision of just going, do you know what, mate? 5 of these are shit. And just going, why don't we put them out and go, no, for this one, no, we are going to cut them. I don't know why that happened.
Look, long play videotapes just don't exist.
But the thing about the bits they cut as well would very much be a lot of the things that you would see going forward. So what you have here is you have a huge number of debuts. You have the debut of Oz, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, just watching the crowd are furious. They're not even like, this is shit. They are like, how dare you make us watch this? And I can understand they cut that out. But at the same time, wrestling, you can't really go back and sort of just go, oh, that wasn't very good, take it out. Because it's sort of been out. Just put it out.
People
can't.
He is huge, Dusty. This guy, Oz, is huge.
Brother, this just knocked my socks right off right here. I ain't never seen nothing like that.
The dark match that we don't see is between the Mighty Thor versus El Cubano.
Ooh.
They learnt nothing from the whole Hulk Hogan and Marvel thing, didn't they? I mean, someone called the Mighty Thor.
No. Why did they keep doing it?
I think they thought, like, we got Mighty Thor.
Yeah.
And there is an argument there. You could say, well, he's from Norse mythology, so you can't have it. But you could also say, well, the word Hulk was around before the Hulk. Which, obviously, you know, there's thematic. There's enough there that we can say, please don't do this.
Are you selling a figurine of it?
Yeah.
Is there a possible confusion? Yes.
Yeah. Well, he's called the Mighty Thor. And I would say, if they called him Thor, that'd be all right. But calling him the Mighty Thor is literally what Marvel call him. So it's that combination of words. They've overplayed their hand. This was a guy called Mike Thor. Which, the Mikey Thor. He was not a star. But you can see what they've done here is they've gone, he's called Mike Thor.
Yeah.
We could just make him the Mighty Thor. Yeah. And if he's any good and the crowd really go for him, then we can develop this. I mean, clearly that was never going to happen.
Hey, baby.
Kicker again.
No, I got something else in mind. I want what everybody else in the locker room got, baby. I want a kiss from Medusa.
He took it too far. He hit her with that telephone coming in the ring.
Where?
Your hair right there.
That's a wig, Ross.
I know it's a wig, Jess.
Whoa.
Maybe she had a wig on.
Who the heck's laying on the mat?
That's Mike Thor.
That ain't Medusa.
No, Thor.
What's going on here?
Medusa? What is this? This is an outrage.
This is a little strange here.
I did see a photograph of him, and he's got a really, really big forehead. Huge.
Nice.
And his hair then starts right on top.
Oh,
and
like
it's brushed back.
Like a roller coaster.
It is.
Like
it looks
Thorpe Park.
He looks very much like Beavis from Beavis and Butthead, but like a human. You know when they sort of do the Simpsons going, if this is what Homer Simpson looked like if he was a real human.
And it's disgusting.
Yeah. Mike Thor looks like Beavis when you've done that. It's slightly revolting.
Horrible.
El Cubano was the Cuban assassin, David Sierra. I don't know why. Having used him for years, they'd sort of decided to rename him slightly. He had a bit of name recognition as the Cuban assassin. I love the name, the Cuban assassin.
Cuban assassin, yeah.
As a character, that sort of thing about I'm in the shadows of the Kennedy murder.
Yeah, what would this have been? What were relations like at this point?
91. They're probably as good as they've been, really. Yeah. I mean, he certainly was bigger in the mid-80s when the Cold War was on.
Yeah.
But what he didn't do is you wanted him to come out dressed as Fidel Castro. Yeah. And I think there would be a good part of that gimmick would have been to continually berate Americans for not having health care and things like that. And they'd have... That annoys Americans, doesn't it? I don't know why.
Health care... Good education.
You could have healthcare free.
Cool cars.
I mean, it's all... I'm not saying that this podcast is a communist podcast, per se.
I mean, until I visited Cuba, was very much on the left-wing side of things, until I had to deal with their internet. Everyone's a communist until they have to actually experience it. And they was like, I can't get on my UFC.com. Has there been a Saudi-led takeover of my club?
Where am I going to watch an hour of hentai now?
You only ever need 5 minutes.
Let's quickly get to the main event, which is the national anthem. As ever, this is sung by national recording artist.
Whose national recording artist sounds like something you see in a shopping centre?
Doesn't it?
Is this? Who is this woman?
This is Brandy Brown.
Brandy Brown.
Now, I went onto Discogs, which is the big sort of database of music. Brandy Brown does not exist. She does not exist. There is. I tried Randy Brown in case Gary Michael Capetta. I'd sort of misheard what he said. They've also called her Brandy Brown on the network, where it says Brandy Brown sings the national anthem.
Okay.
The closest I could find was Randy Brown, who is a soul singer but a man, right?
Right.
So then I went online and I was like, someone must have spoken about this woman, you know, and because it's worth saying, she is not good at this. She is not good.
She's, I've heard worse.
Have you? Only on other wrestling shows.
Only on Rocky Robin.
Yeah. She's
For spacious skies, for amber waves of grain.
But someone said, oh, she's actually called Mandy Brown. It's not Brandy or Randy. It is Mandy Brown. And so I typed in Mandy Brown, nothing. I mean, every little bit I've been down, I'm no closer to getting to the truth. But she does start going wrong. I think it's the word skies, I think, is where it first starts going wrong. It is amazing. Where I love the bit where the audience are like, they don't go, this woman won't be able to sing. And what you get is a slow growth where you can see them going, can she not sing? Which is really good. They're all...
America, God shed his grace on...
What the hell?
And you can see the audience slightly leaning forward.
Looking at each other, going,
yeah, is this a bit?
Leaning in.
Is this supposed to be shrill? Is this? But yeah, I mean, it's just a terrible little bit. There's also, at this point, there's some of the footage is degraded.
Right.
And so there's one bit where it just, as she's singing, it goes zip. And it really does sound like that thing, you know, that meme of going, I know what you're thinking, you know, how did I end up here? But as I was watching that, I was thinking, that is actually one that does work for this, because if it said, how did I end up here? I would go, oh yeah, I knew it had to be something, because that was not good.
No.
You know, heartbreaking.
It's sort of like, I wouldn't know what any of the words were.
No.
But I reckon I could still get away with singing it without not knowing the words. America, come on, all ye faithful America.
There is, I'm sure, footage of people, famous people, singing national anthems, and they do not know the words.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed, we're so gallantly streaming, and the rockets, red flag, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. I'll make up for it now. Oh, say.
That is, for me, the absolute definition of a living nightmare. That is the thing I would be most scared of.
That's proper dream-like, isn't it?
It really is. Under preparation, a serious event, and patriotism. It really is a living fucking nightmare. We have our commentators, Jim Ross and Dusty Rhodes. Dusty is wearing a beautiful WCW cap. Seeing that hat on Dusty Rhodes, I mean, they did not make them big enough for Dusty Rhodes. No. He got a great big buckety head.
Everything's pushed down. Yes. It's like a corset.
Yeah.
His face.
It's a strange one. I mean, Jim Ross is there overdressed in his suit and bow tie.
Yeah.
And Dusty Rhodes is just rocked up. I'm not even wearing smart version of my clothes. I'm literally like, I've just, these are here and I'm wearing these. And he's got some gold necklaces on and stuff.
There's too much going on around the neck, isn't there? Yeah, we were talking about this. Probably from his cowboy dressy up box that he's insisting on.
Yeah. Things that he's paid like $2,000 for that objectively are worth about $3 to $5. Just gaudy looking things. There's a part of me that I kind of go, he wears those as well so that you don't judge his body like you would other people's.
Yes.
Because he has no neck. So he's got these long medallions on, which are basically sort of going, this would obviously be where my neck is.
Yes, it's an artificial neck.
Yeah, it is. It's like distracting attention from the neck. What do you mean I don't have a neck? Of course I have a neck. I'm wearing necklaces.
Well, what the heck on? Where would the heck off?
Yep, that's me, Daddy. Y'all probably asking, Dream, how could a son of a plumber find himself in such a bizarre, kooky, unexpected situation, if you will? Well, it's a long story, Daddy. You understand?